Welcome back to Castrology, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Cailin, and on this channel I do monthly horoscope videos for all 12 zodiac signs, along with tarot predictions for your sign. Today I'm going to be doing your January 2021 horoscope, so be sure to watch for your rising, sun and moon sign. I'm going to leave a timestamp in the comment box and the description of the video, so feel free to skip this intro if you just want to head straight to your horoscope. As for the rest of you, January is absolutely hectic. We have squares from Mars, Uranus, Saturn and Jupiter going every which way. This is going to heavily activate two of your houses in particular, and of course it will change for each sign. And we also have Mercury going into retrograde at the end of the month. As per usual with Mercury retrogrades, we always have a 2-week pre-shadow period. So for the first couple of weeks in January, you'll have a bit of a breather, you could say, but this is really the calm before the storm, because come 13th of January, everything is going to go haywire, and there's going to be so much change and such a upswing or uptake in energy. And every sign of course is going to feel it differently, but the ones who will be affected the most will be Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio. Without further ado, let's dive straight in. Happy New Year, Pisces, Sun, Moon and Risings, and welcome to your January 2021 horoscope. The month starts off with Mars entering Taurus on the 7th of January, and we will see Mars transiting your third house in Taurus for 3 months. Now with this transit, you can see a lot of additional communications going back and forth between you and your co-workers. You might have to expend a lot of effort on a team project, or it could even be your own business that you're working really hard on. Now on the 8th of January, Mercury will enter Aquarius, and this will be in your 12th house. Now later in the month, we will actually see Mercury going retrograde in Aquarius, so you can actually see the pre-shadow period effects start to take place from around the middle of the month. So you might start having trouble sleeping or having really weird dreams. That's another way that, that's another manifestation of Mercury retrograde in your sleep house. Now on the 9th of January, Venus will enter the sign of Capricorn, and this will be in your 11th house. Now the 11th house rules your friendship network, any group or organization that you're a part of, and it can also represent your salary. So with Venus here, you'll be well received by your community and any wider network that you're a part of. And on the 13th of January, we'll actually have a new moon in Capricorn. So this will be in your 11th house once again. It'll be at 23 degrees, and it will actually be conjunct Pluto at 24 degrees. So this can have a karmic influence thanks to Pluto's influence. New moons always bring about new beginnings in some capacity, and this one will, it can manifest as a new long-term goal for you, and this can actually yield a really big return because Pluto is one of the planets which represents money, and large sums of money at that. Now you might actually see a large increase in your salary because the 11th house rules gains, and this can be something which you plant the seeds now, okay, over the next 4 weeks, but you might see this increase in your salary hit your bank account in about 6 months or maybe even 18 months. Okay, so we'll be looking to the full moon in Capricorn in about 6 months time or a year and a half from now. Now on the 13th of January, we will also see Mars in Taurus in your 3rd house being square Saturn in Aquarius in your 12th house. Now this can result in you burning the candle at both ends, and this can be thanks to you working on team projects really hard. As I said, Mars in the 3rd house sees you putting a lot of effort into team projects, your own business, meetings, and even just daily work plans can get in the way of your sleep. Now on another level, any course that you're doing whether that's a short-term course or a long-term course, it can actually require a lot of effort from you. And this again will impact that 12th house of sleep and relaxation, because Saturn deprives us of things, and it either makes it really hard to acquire or it reduces things, right? So with Saturn in the 12th house of sleep, we see a reduction in sleep for you. Now, another way that this can play out is that if you are writing a blog or a book or working on some kind of report, this can take a lot of your time and effort and can keep you up late at night. On another level, you might actually be feeling creatively blocked right now, because the 12th house rules your creativity, and with Saturn here, it can create obstacles and challenges in relation to accessing that creativity, which can obviously be really frustrating for you if you are working on a creative piece of writing or something important for work which requires that creativity. A way that you can combat this is to actually start journaling, and that's because the 3rd house rules communications, and actually journaling and putting things to paper, or even communicating about this with a friend or a sibling, is something that can alleviate these blockages for you. And it might just be a matter of working through some subconscious issues which you didn't realize were impacting you. And on a totally different level, you could actually be embarking on a new course of study which pertains to spirituality, meditation, or anything to do with the occult. And now you're putting that into practice, because the 3rd house rules skills and talents and things that we do with our hands. So perhaps you are actually practicing what you preach, you could say. Now, on the 14th of January, Uranus will be direct in Taurus, and this will be in your 3rd house. And a few days later, on the 18th of January, Jupiter will be squaring Uranus. So Jupiter will be in the 12th house, Uranus will be in the 3rd house. Also, I'm really sorry about this beam of light. I'm filming at a very unusual hour, and yeah, apologies. Anyway, so with this square between Jupiter in the 12th and Uranus in the 3rd, you might be learning about spirituality, because Jupiter represents knowledge and wisdom and learning, and the 12th house is one of the houses which represents spirituality. Now, the 3rd house represents courses and study in some respects. So you might actually be studying something to do with the occult, with spirituality, or it might even be to do with travel, okay? Because we've got a lot of indicators here for traveling, and that's learning about traveling, all right? So you could be studying to become a flight attendant, random, I know, but on a different level, Jupiter represents travel, the 3rd house represents travel, and as does the 12th house. So you could have an opportunity to travel abroad for work, or you might be doing a lot of trips interstate or locally, just around town. And this will have an unexpected twist to it, because Uranus represents sudden change and swift upheaval. Now, on a different level, an opportunity to travel with a sibling might occur, because the 3rd house represents siblings. And some of you might actually have a sudden download during a dream, okay? Because the 12th house represents dreams, and Uranus is the sudden spark of ideas, and it's in the 3rd house of communication and thought. So you might have a fantastic new idea for any project that you're working on, a business that you want to start, or even ideas related to a business that you own. And a lot of you could receive direct messages while you're asleep. And as Pisces, I know you guys are no stranger to having weird and wacky dreams. Now, just be careful about overindulgence here, because Jupiter expands anything that it touches, and in the 12th house of sleep, bed pleasures, and it also rules substances. You don't want to overindulge in something, especially if it's going to have an unexpected but negative impact on you at work. Now, on the 20th of January, we will see Aquarius season start once the Sun enters Aquarius in your 12th house. Now, you'll be focusing a lot on any subconscious issues you may have or repressed issues. This can manifest as an interest in the occult, or you might simply want to relax more or get more in touch with your creativity. Now, on the 21st of January, Mars in the third house will be conjunct Uranus in the third house. So this is Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Be careful on the roads, guys. The third house rules travel, and Mars represents accidents, and Uranus represents accidents and unexpected happenings, okay? So this transit only occurs about once every 2 years, but just be really careful on the 21st of January. And this is with vehicles or transportation of all kinds. Be extra careful. And if you work in an industry where you have to operate anything that is electrically powered or any kind of machinery, anything with an electrical current, please be careful. The reason for that is that Uranus rules electricity, okay? So we have a real recipe for disaster if caution and precautions are not taken. Now, this can manifest as an unexpected argument with a sibling, and more specifically a younger sibling. On a different level, it could just be that your younger sibling has a unexpected new change occur in their life, or they might do something completely random and you and your family are like, what are you doing? This is so out of character. But now you can anticipate it. On a different level, you may have a huge workload fall into your lap and it's completely out of nowhere. On the other hand, this transit can operate on opposite sides of the spectrum. So this can actually turn out to be your work schedule or your daily schedule suddenly being cleared of all commitments and meetings when you had like a stack of stuff to do. So it can really be one or the other. In any case, just keep an eye out for meetings and plans changing unexpectedly, and also deadlines on projects changing unexpectedly. And lastly, business trips may be cancelled out of nowhere or appear out of thin air. So, you can't predict it, okay? With Uranus, you can never predict how it's going to play out. Now, on the 23rd of January, we will see Mars in Taurus squaring Jupiter in Aquarius, and that is in your 12th house. So we can see conflicts or issues in your work life cause you to be extremely lethargic. So you might have to be, burning the candle at both ends during this month especially. So, you just want to make sure that you're not spending too much time in the office, because this can have a detrimental effect on your health. Now, if you work in the hospital industry, at a prison, in a spa retreat, in a studio, in a laboratory, in the spiritual or occult industry, or any kind of creative industry at all, whether that's acting, painting, music, like whatever, anything in those industries, you can be really, really busy for the whole month of January, or at least from the second week of January. And I would say this could be for about 3 months, and that's because Mars will be in Taurus for 3 months. Now, this can also manifest as you wanting to relocate abroad, but you can't at this time due to work commitments. Now, some of you may have an argument with a sibling about property that you own overseas, or family property which is located overseas. And this argument can really get blown out of proportion. And we've got Mercury in the 12th house, and it rules the 4th house. And Mercury represents siblings already. So yeah, we see a recipe for potential arguments or disputes breaking out with a sibling. And, it doesn't have to be a younger or older sibling. And honestly, guys, it could manifest as any of these aforementioned things. As always, it really depends on your own individual birth chart. Now, on the 29th of January, we will see a full moon in Leo in your 6th house. and this will be at 8 degrees, and it'll actually be opposite Saturn at 4 degrees and Jupiter at 9 degrees. So this can manifest as the end of a chapter regarding your health, and it might be that you say goodbye to some kind of sickness or illness, and this can now allow you to travel overseas. So perhaps you had to receive treatment or medication in the country that you're currently in, but now you're free to travel abroad. On a different level, this can result in an epiphany in relation to your health and well-being, and perhaps now you're taking active steps towards bettering your health. And for some of you, you could even be saying goodbye to any bad habits, or even something as serious as a substance addiction. Now, some of you may actually be ending a chapter with your current workplace, because full moons always represent completion and coming full circle. So, you might be leaving where you're currently working to embark on a new line of study or a new industry, and it could actually be something pertaining to the 12th house. So again, this is the occult or spiritual industry, hospitals, prisons, hotels, spa retreats, anything that requires you to work in an isolated area. And certainly this can now allow you to travel abroad, or even have a work opportunity which awaits you in another country. So Pisces, that's all I have for you for January 2021. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content from me, please subscribe to my K-Astrology channel. I've already posted a January 2021 tarot predictions video, so if you'd like to check that out, I will leave a link in the description box below. Enjoy your January, and I will see you guys next month.